Join me at the top. Welcome to Lead and Achieve with Doc Roc. Hey, our objective tonight is to empower you with leadership skills and tools for your success. We're excited tonight. I'm excited. I hope you're excited. We're going to be talking about leadership. We're going to be talking about things that's really going to help you to go forward and be that person of success, to obtain more value in your life. Tonight, my guest tonight on this program is Orlis Moss. Let me tell you a little bit about Orlis before we jump into what we're talking about tonight. Orlis is a retired Marine combat veteran who served his country honorably for 20 years. He is happily married to his lovely wife, Tabitha, of 26 years. Their children are Cameron, Demetria, Jasmine, and Julian. I'm going to call them the Triple Three. His military education includes the Sergeant's Leadership Academy, Career Leadership Academy, and the Advanced Leadership Academy, where he graduated in the top 10% and was selected to the President Honor Society. Wow. He is a graduate of Columbia College of Missouri, where he earned a Bachelor's of Science degree, in business, He is a certified life coach from the Life Purpose Institute in San Diego, California. He is one of the founders of the Semper Community Task Force, which works with the Wounded Warrior Project, who is responsible for sponsoring, supporting, and bringing wounded service members to Huntsville area during the Veterans Celebration Week. He is the vice president of membership for the High Noon Toastmasters Speaking Club of Huntsville. He is an employee of SQ Incorporated and a subject matter expert in the use, operations, and deployment of the Javelin missile system. Because of his expertise in the missile defense field, he was selected to develop a training plan and monitor the training for the best of the armed services special operations groups around the United States of America. He is now a senior logistics analyst at SQ, who serves a vital part for the Army's logistics division as the PM Aircraft Survivability Equipment Warehouse Manager, located in Lexington, Kentucky, which is the largest special operation command, employing over 3,000 personnel to support the day-to-day operations. He is responsible for managing the missile warning, threat warning, and countermeasure equipment for the special equipped helicopters and fixed-wing military aircrafts to protect troops and government personnel around the world. Let's give it up for Orlis Moss. And let me tell you, Orlis, you a bad man. Man, you a dangerous man. Hey, y'all know, y'all heard his bio. I'm just praying that I be nice to him tonight, because he's a bad man. Tonight, we're going to talk about 12 qualities of a great leader. 12 qualities of a great leader. And we're going to dive into this, and we're going to talk about those qualities, and we may have some scriptures to back up. What we do every second and fourth Thursday with Lead and Achieve, we're talking about leadership principles. We're talking about principles to give you tools for your toolbox, for your tool belt, for you to be successful. But we're doing it from a biblical standpoint, because here's the deal. John Maxwell is regarded as the #1 leadership guru in the world now. And John and I was in the green room years ago talking, 3 years ago, and he said, everything I teach comes from the Bible. And this, of course, this guy teach around the world, teach business, kings, presidents, and all. Because I tell people, if you are teaching a leadership principle, if it's worth any weight, it's biblically based. Well, it's biblically based. So let's talk about this. So the first quality of a great leader, not a good leader, but a great leader. Greatness is in everybody who's watching tonight. Is a great leader is purpose driven. Their position is to influence people, and be a part of something that they love. They purpose driven, Here's what the Bible says. That many plans are in a man's mind, but it's the Lord's purpose for him that will be carried out. What are your thoughts about being purpose driven?
Well, my thoughts on purpose driven, it's not driven by income, driven by money. It's driven, I think, by the heart. I think if you follow your heart, then you'll do the right thing, and you'll not be led by frivolous things like money and things of that nature. So that's what I think about the leadership as forced leadership from the heart. So follow your heart in everything that you do, and purposely you'll fall into that direction and doing the right thing all the time.
Yeah, I like that. I tell people all this. Chase passion and purpose, and money will catch up with you.
Yes.
A lot of people they chasing money, like you say, and I agree with you. Money has this place, right? But we don't chase that. You chase your purpose. Miles Monroe said, purpose is the master of motivation.
Yeah.
The mother of commitment.
Yeah,
I like. He said, "Purpose is the master of motivation, the mother of commitment."
Yeah.
And so we gotta be purpose driven, because if not, then you're chasing everything.
Yeah.
And no doubt about your career that purpose was in front of you.
Yes, it was. Yeah,
I mean, you can do the things you did without having a true purpose, a life in front of you.
Yes,
Well, the second quality is of a great leader. A great leader is a big thinker. A big thinker. We got a few in the audience, a big thinker. And the scripture that says, it goes with that, I believe, is in Ephesians 3:20, when it says, "Now unto him who's able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or think." And if you are a great leader, man, you a big thinker. Woo. What do you think about that?
I got some notes jot down to make sure I focus on what I need to say and just go off on a tangent. As far as a thinker, you always want to think beyond your current situation, I think. And I think sometimes we need help with that. I think a lot of times we don't have all the answers. I think a lot of times what happens is we need to get around people that think a little bit different than we do, to think outside of the box. Not just thinking what the company you work for, what their motto is in the company, but what do you think beyond what you can do, what your capabilities are. What are those things in that nature? So we definitely need help doing that. Just not. I think of this way, Doc Rock. Sometimes we look at the job versus work. I think when you go to work that 9 to 5, that's a job.
Uh-huh.
That's a job. I think your work starts after your job.
That's
what I think. That's where the work part comes in. That's your passion, and that's what you're gonna be driven to do. So just because you work in a 9 to 5 job, don't mean you stop right there. What are you doing after that job for yourself, not just for that company? So I think that's very important.
I agree. I tell people, sometimes we limit ourselves. I heard my friend Les Brown say, shoot for the moon, maybe you'll land on the stars, right? And so, it's that art of thinking big, that art of going beyond you. I tell people, if your vision, your dream you have, if it only takes you to do it, it's small.
Yes.
And sometimes I think people are maybe feel guilty or feel like they're being arrogant if they got this big vision, this big dream. But we need to dream big. He's able to do exceedingly abundantly above all we ask or think. Yeah. I tell people, if you can see it on the canvas of your imagination, you can have it. But you cannot have anything that you don't see on the canvas of your imagination.
Yes, sir.
And you got to be able to dream and dream big. Listen, it takes the same faith to believe for the slice of bread as to believe for the loaf of bread.
Yes.
So why not believe for the loaf? Right?
I like that. Yes.
I mean, come on.
Yeah,
let's believe not for you just to eat, Orlis, and me just to eat. Let's believe that we can eat and share the food.
Yeah, I like that. Help somebody else out.
Help somebody else out. But you said something earlier that I want to just piggyback on just a little, is that you got to get around people who think big.
Yes.
Now I don't hang with chickens.
Right.
I mean, Orlis is an eagle. Nobody on this get on the stage with me will be a chicken. I don't hang with chickens. I eat chicken. I hang with eagles, right?
Yes, sir.
And so you got to get around other eagles, other people. And what I mean by eagle is someone who want to soar.
Yes.
Someone who tell you, what they thinking, and you be like, whoa, really, Ron? Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, man, that's huge. Instead of me telling you my dream, and you like, oh, ain't no way in the world that's gonna happen. Man, ain't no way. Listen, get away from those kind of people, because you got to think outside of yourself.
Yes.
That new company you want to buy, that new business you want to venture into, that ministry you want to start, whatever it may be, put that in your mind. Dream about that. Think big. It's positive action and positive outcomes come when you think big.
Absolutely.
And we got too many people who think it's small.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
I mean, go ahead and think about going to that restaurant that you paying $150 for the plate. You know, I know that's grocery money right now for a week for some people, and I get that. I've been there. I've been there when I took a pack of Winnie's, you know, hot dogs, and ate them all week long. Split, you know, I fried them, I broiled them, you know, I grilled them. I mean, I'm serious.
Yeah.
You know, with a bag of chips, and that bag of chips, the big bag, it lasts all week.
Right.
Okay, but when I was eating that hot dog, I was thinking about, you know, that porterhouse steak.
Yeah, that sounds
good. You see
good
what I'm saying? So where you at right now shouldn't dictate where you're gonna be in the future. Don't let your thinking be based on just where you at.
Yes, sir.
Right?
I believe that.
I mean, because there's no way for you to have gotten to the place you are, even with S Cube, thinking small.
No, definitely not.
Right? At least I don't think so.
No, that's definitely not the case.
Yeah. So that's what we got to do. The third quality of a great leader has high character. A high character. Now, let me say this. I didn't say a great leader was perfect. I didn't say a great leader didn't go through some things. A great leader has high character. They do the right thing when nobody's watching.
Mm.
They willing to sacrifice to win, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's what's a great leader. And you may have somebody that you call a great leader, but what does a great leader mean to you? You know, when I say a great leader.
Well, the thing about it is you gotta trust that person. Mm. If I'm being led by somebody, and you gotta trust in what they're doing the right thing. And a lot of times you said something about, you know, doing something when, you know, people are not watching. I mean, that's hard, Doc Rock. I mean, that's hard to do.
Yeah, that's true.
It takes a lot of discipline to do that. And I think what it does, it creates a habit that we would need down the road as far as people trusting us and trusting that, you know what, your character is okay. You know, I can trust this guy. He doesn't have a hidden agenda. He's not doing something just to get something. You know, he's doing it because that's the right thing to do, and that's part of his standard. You know, that's what he believes in. So he doesn't waver from that at all. Even when it gets tough and it gets rough, you know, he doesn't waver from his character. You know, some things that he believes in his heart that he will not do. You know, I will not cross that line if it comes down to it when things get hard. Those are the people that I want to follow.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. You know, I'm just thinking like a Nelson Mandela, great leader, wasn't a perfect person. Did not handle the AIDS crisis in South Africa the way that he probably should have. Right. Apologized later for it. Dr. King, great leader. Okay, had some fallacies and some things that he had to deal with, but you could trust him.
Yes,
you could go to war with them. You know. The Bible records in Daniel the 6th chapter that Daniel was preferred above all the rest of the people because he had an excellent spirit.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? He was a man of character.
Yes.
And I tell people, we have to get our character in check because sometimes our giftings can carry us places that our character can bring us back down if you're not ready.
Yeah.
You know, and character is something that you build.
Yes.
You know, yeah, we have character, but character has to be built through hard knocks.
Yes.
By opportunities to do something crazy, and you choose to do something correct.
Yes.
Right. And I think what we have to get past is believing that people of high character are perfect.
Yeah. Exactly.
See, because if you're looking for perfection, you forget it. None of us have it. Right. We perfect when it comes to the word mature. But not perfect when it comes to we don't mess up.
Yes. Because
to be honest with you, you know, you probably have learned more from your mistakes than your successes.
Yes.
We all do. And that's how we build character.
Right.
You know, within ourselves. That's how we build character within an organization. Yes. That people can trust us. You know, because I'm gonna be honest with you, when people have character flaws, and that's a bad principle in their life, it's hard to do what they ask you. Yeah. You right? And
yeah.
And let me say this, and I want to preface this. I'm not saying people can't mess up. I'm not saying that people don't do bad things, because we all do. But when it's perpetual, yeah. You see what I'm saying? When you don't see them working on themselves, I tell people all the time, and I do this myself. exhort your strengths and work on your weaknesses.
Yes.
But because if you don't, then it may bite you.
Yeah.
It may bite you.
Yeah. If it's okay, I
Yes.
want to add to that, Doc Rock.
Sure.
I mean, I'm a prime example of that. The position I hold, I can't devour certain things to you because of my certain things that we can say and cannot say. But I tell you this, the reason I have this job is because of the person that knew me, because of my character, because of trust. They put me in a position that, it could actually get me in trouble, but they trust me enough to give me a chance to actually do this, carry out this position. So that goes a long way. So it happens all the time, and I'm a prime example of that. So it's definitely,
Wow.
definitely high character is definitely important.
Wow, that's good. That's awesome. The fourth quality of a great leader embraces change. A great leader embraces change.
Good one.
Now, I think God has gifted me with the ability to be flexible, to be agile, because change doesn't bother me. Matter of fact, when things stay the same for too long, I change them on my own. I like change. But most of the population don't.
Right.
And I have to remind myself that change affect people. I mean, people kind of like go crazy, like what in the world is going on, okay? But change is not change until you change.
Change, yes, sir.
I said it again. Change is not change until you change. Dr. Healy, you say it this way. Change is the product of human effort sustained by divine help.
Wow, that's good.
Change is the product of human effort sustained by divine help. Some of us, we don't like change, but the only thing that stays the same, that's going to be consistent, is change.
Change, right.
What do you think about change? I mean, do you like change?
Me personally, I'm like you, Doc Rock. I love change, but because change to me is growth. If things are remaining the same, it's nothing growing. And sometimes it hurts a little bit to make that change. But it's okay. You're gonna survive. You're gonna be okay with that. And you hit it right on the head. And I looked at it's two things that I had right there on my paper. It's two things that's constant and moving. It's time and change. Time and change is constantly moving. So either you moving with those changes, or you being stagnant and you're not growing, and then you become dated, just like a piece of furniture. The old furniture that they don't want to remodel. You're just sitting in the corner. You gotta make some changes in your life. I tell you, to move with what's going on in society. Don't be that person that sit around like, hey, back in the day, this way we used to do it. But hey, we can't be that way. Change is constant. So change is definitely good.
You're right. God told Abraham, get from your country into a land that I'm going to show you. You need to change. And it wasn't that Abraham or Abram at the time was doing bad.
Right.
Because a lot of people think change happens only when bad things are happening.
Right.
No, things can be going very well and you need to change. Because I tell people what's good today can be bad tomorrow. What's great today can be bad tomorrow if you don't change. And we're in this world now with generation X and generation Y, what generation Y and Z, I would say, the millennials with Y, is that we got to change. The church has to change. Companies have to change. I remember General Motors. General Motors was arrogant. I tell people I worked at one time for the world's largest automobile maker and the world's largest computer maker when they both was resisting change. And with GM, here comes these guys from over across the pond called Toyota. And it was doing Kaizen and different things, and they was willing to change, and GM gave the cars that they wanted people to have. Now, but they end up having to change majorly, right? Same thing with IBM. Here comes Michael Dell, young whippersnapper out of Austin, Texas, has a personal computer, but change. They are an agile company, VUCA. I don't have time to talk about VUCA tonight, but versatile, okay? And IBM was big blue, very, very structured, very rigid. IBM do not even make personal computers anymore, right? And we see this in ministries. We have to change. I mean, right now we doing Zoom. YouTube, right? We do Zoom time. We do Microsoft Teams, right? All these things are happening, and COVID made us change.
Yes.
The problem is we should have already started changing. And so what's good is that you personally or your company that you work for or run or whatever, you start to do things of change now and get ahead of it.
Yes.
So you're not catching up. So let's move on. Boy, I tell you, our time is moving, but this is good. Number five. A great leader has empathy. A great leader has empathy. Social awareness.
Yes.
Yeah, they understand that things are built. You gotta have empathy. You gotta have some social awareness, because if you're gonna grow, it's gonna be based on relationships.
Yes, sir.
What's your take on that?
Yeah, and that's good. Yeah, when you talk about relationship and people actually knowing that you care. When people know that you care, they'll fight for you.
Yeah.
I feel that they'll run through a wall for you if they know that you care and you feel in your heart that you really, really care, and you're just not saying it. That, hey, have a great day or whatever. But you really, really mean and you really care about their well-being. Man, they'll do a lot for you. They'll go above and beyond what they're actually supposed to do when it comes to their job. I mean, they're like, hey, look, this is what I got for you, just to make you look good. Not just themselves, just to make you look good. They'll do that for you, Doc Rod.
The Bible says in Galatians, the 6th chapter, that we should bear one another's burdens.
Yes.
Meaning that we should have empathy for one another. We should go the extra mile for one another. And I'm telling you, we're very scientific, we're very technical world, but this new generation, I mean, they want empathy. They believe in social awareness,
right.
and you got to know who's around you. You got to have a heart for people, and it's important. A lot of times we kind of downplay the power skills, right? Soft skills we used to call them, right?
Yeah.
And we downplay that, but what we're finding out, and some of you all know this, is that those skills is what separate the good from the great.
Yes.
Because if you don't have some of those skills, and definitely if you don't have no empathy, then it's hard for you to build a team.
Right.
And it's hard for you to be on a team. Let's lead a team. I don't have no empathy for you. I don't care how you feel, how you think. You come in today and you're not yourself, Orlis.
Right.
You maybe you're mad. Maybe you're not talkative as normal. I need to have some social awareness, some empathy to pick up on that, so I can relate to you and ask how's it going, and maybe we need to talk 15 minutes about something even personal.
Yes.
Because that 15 minutes is worth it many times,
right.
in order for we to be productive for the rest of the day.
That's good.
But if you don't have no empathy at all, then I blow past you, don't care, and you probably end up being very not very productive during that day.
Right.
And people do it all the time.
Yeah.
They do it all the time, and we have to be careful with that.
Yeah, yes,
because no one wants to follow a cold leader. Somebody who's cold-hearted. It just don't work. And that ain't something just in ministry. That's in corporate America.
Yes, sir.
I was at Redstone Federal Credit Union for a board meeting one morning, and my friend and mentor Joe Newberry, who's the president, who's the CEO of Redstone Federal Credit Union. One of the ladies who worked in the hospitality was fixing the breakfast there, and he went up to her and asked her how your day is. Then went on and said, you got some new grandbaby children. How they doing? I mean, just very sensitive to her. He is the CEO
right.
of a multi-billion-dollar company.
Yeah.
Okay. But he's talking to the lady in hospitality who's fixing our breakfast like she's a queen. And she was, right?
Yeah.
He had empathy. He had social awareness. So those are the type of leaders that we need to be looking for.
Yeah, it's very important.
You see what I'm saying?
I agree.
Because that's what's important. I'll give you another example. I was at I think it was 20 or 25. Don't y'all quote me. And I think it's 20-year anniversary of Intuitive, and Ray Almodovar, of course, was there, and we know him. And they showed videos of Ray and Hal, who these are the CEO and chairman of the board of the company, and all of them talks about how much empathy, how much social awareness, how much care that they have and had for the people.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what's important.
Yeah.
We got to have empathy. So let's talk about the number 6, the 6th quality of a great leader. A great leader takes calculated risk. A great leader takes calculated risk. Listen, they don't play it safe.
That's right.
They're not looking for safety and security. They take calculated risks. And I don't believe no one can be fully successful playing it safe.
Right.
I just don't believe that. David told us to be strong and courageous.
Yes, sir.
And I'm one of those kind of people. I take some risks. And matter of fact, I enjoy it sometimes. Yeah, I enjoy it because as Steve Harvey say, go ahead and jump.
Yeah.
Go ahead and take a leap. Your parachute may not open the first time.
Right.
You may get scuffled up, but you're not gonna die. You're gonna be all right.
Right.
But what do you feel about that?
Well, I think that we're investments. And what I mean by that, first of all, we're God investments. And he's looking for a ROI, return on his investment.
Mm-hmm.
So what are we doing to influence that, to make it better, not just to keep it the same? He made us great. He put it inside of us. But I think that a lot of times we don't release it correctly, or we don't we dumb it down.
Mm-hmm.
We don't expect more or things like that. And this is my thing I wrote down is, are you a liability or you're an asset to society? What are you? And you have to really think about that. Am I a liability? Am I part of the problem, or am I part of the solution?
Wow.
We really have to think about those things when we're thinking about not just what we're doing on a day-to-day basis, Doc Rock, but for other people and helping other people grow from what God has put inside of us, saying that we are great. Are we projecting that in everything that we do? Are we projecting that when we go to work? I use you a lot. Every morning I report to the people on my team, and when I report every morning, I use these little quotes that you use. I said, every day, like if it's money, I say it's marvelous money to all. How are you doing? And then I put, hey, I'm healthy, and I'm teleworking today. That's how I start my morning every morning. Same thing with every day of the week.
Yeah.
And now I'm known as the positive guy. The positive guy that put these quotes. In one meeting we had, they said, yeah, you smile all the time. I said, yes, because I'm happy. I have joy in my life. So that's what I think about, that being calculated risk, about you being an investment for God, and then being an investment to society.
Yeah, and I agree with that. From a biblical standpoint, I think about Peter. Peter is a Jew. He is a leader. He takes a risk. Yeah, God showed him a vision. He takes a risk to go to Cornelius' house.
Yes.
He going to a Gentile house. That's a risk.
Yes. But
he took the risk because he put people first. See, I believe that you take risks when you put people first. When you got purpose and people in front of you, and you're not just doing it, for yourself,
sure,
then you take a risk. You sacrifice, right? And you got to be a living sacrifice. You got to present your body as a living sacrifice. You got to take some risks. And let me say this to you all who are watching. Don't let people bluff you out of your blessing. And what I mean by that is that you're going to fail. Failure is part of success. Yeah. You got to take some risks in order to fail. Okay? Failure, because you'll learn from that, But if you one of those kind of people that you don't want to fail, you're scared of everything, I love you. We love you, okay? But let me tell you this. You will never maximize your potential. Nope. You won't. You have to take risks. And you're not going to knock out the ballpark every time. No. You're going to strike out.
Yeah.
The greatest home run hitters in the world strike out more than they hit home runs.
Yes.
That's the risk of swinging the bat hard.
Yes.
But when they connect, oh my goodness. Ching-ching, they get paid.
They get paid.
Right?
Yeah.
Ching-ching, when you take risks. Ching-ching, you get paid. You get paid. Whether it's money, whether it's joy, whether it's better relationships, whatever it may be, you get paid. And that's important. All right, number 7. A great leader is decisive. A great leader is decisive. The Bible says in Matthew 5:37, but let your statement be yes, yes, or no, no, or yea, yea, no, no. Anything beyond these is of evil. Wow. So be decisive. Yes or no. Listen, you would never have 100% of the information to make a decision. Any great leader would tell you, you need 80% of the information to make a decision. If you got 80%, you need to make a decision.
Yes.
You can't, by the time you wait for 90, you know this.
Yes.
It's too late.
Too late.
Great leaders make decisions.
Yes, sir.
And some of them going to be bad. What do you say, right?
Yeah. I definitely agree with you, Doc. Matter of fact, that's one of my pet peeves. Take this wrong, but that, making the decision, first of all, nobody wants anything that's lukewarm. When it comes to food, people or the decision maker. If it's lukewarm, it's really not good. Either make a decision and live with your decision. Take initiative to do something. Not just sit around and let somebody just tell you what to do. But if you make that decision, just stick with it.
Yep.
Stick with it. Own it. Say, and then if you mess up, you say, you know what? I made a mistake at that point. Oh well. Just forget it, quit it, and move on. And that's what leaders do. That's what great leaders do. Not just any old leader. That's what great leaders do, because they willing to put themselves out there and make that decision. We don't want no lukewarm person. Yeah,
no, you're right. In my position, I have to make decisions quite often, and sometimes you make decisions with your knees shaking. I mean, you hoping and praying that it's what you think it is.
Yes,
and but I'm gonna tell you, if you take that 80%, make that decision based on the information in your gut, 90% of the time you're gonna be right.
Yes, sir.
You're gonna be right. And we have to retrain ourselves for our yes to be yes and our no to be no, as the scripture says, because many of us grew up in families, and I'm not knocking your family, but we grew up in families, we grew up in environments that people didn't make decisions. Now all y'all gonna laugh at this one, because everybody did it. Husband and wife, what we gonna eat? You pass by 15 restaurants. It's like, pull up to one. And you're like, no, well, whatever you want. No, whatever you want. And then, ladies, I love you, but sometimes, we say, well, let's go. I don't want to go there. Where do you want to go? And then sometimes men, we do the same thing.
Yeah.
And that's a prime example that you wasted an hour of your life that you cannot get back because you drove around Huntsville or Decatur or wherever for an hour to end up at the same place that you started at. Yeah. Or Gaston, you're in Gaston, Birmingham, wherever you are. Joseph, you may be on in London. Where are we going, right? Make a decision. And sometimes I'm like, make a decision. I'm telling myself this. I'm telling the family this. Make a decision. Oh, and don't let us be on vacation. Do not let us be on vacation. Oh, my goodness. I said, hey, what we going to eat tonight? It's about 5 things show up. Then we're like, okay. Finally, we're like, okay, we're going there. Yeah. Well, is the food good? I don't know if the food good. We've never been there before. Right. But we're going to go and try it out. I always say, if the food not good, Burger King, McDonald's, or one of them, they stay open late. Taco Bell, stay open late. Get you but we have to make a decision.
Yes, sir.
And it's very important, though, seriously, in where we're going in life to make decisions. Hey, at the end of this tonight, as we do every Lead and Achieve night, we're going to have a time for questions and answers. So right now, get your questions together, and you can put it in the chat, and I'll be checking the chat in a few for your questions. And we'll try to answer a few questions on tonight. So you can go ahead and put those in there if you want to start, and we'll check them out in just a second. Number 8, a great leader uses their authority appropriately. A great leader uses their authority appropriately. Respect is earned.
Yes.
What do you think about this, Orlis? About this using
this
your authority?
Yeah, this was the one that a lot of I hope nobody takes this the wrong way, but a lot of people that have a title, a lot of times if they're a weak leader, they hide behind their title. A lot of times, and they do it all the time, and they're like, hey, and they mention it all the time. Well, I'm the vice president, or I'm the CEO, or I'm the manager of this. Why do you have to mention your title all the time when you're speaking to a person that works for you or in your circle, just to make yourself look even better? So do not hide behind titles. A lot of times that's what happens. Respect is definitely earned. If they know you get in the trenches with them and you go to war with them, you know what? They'll be right there with you. And not hiding behind the title.
And that's true. I teach quite often on, that leadership is not about titles, right? It's about influence.
Right.
And if you use your title in an authoritarian way, people, you're not leading them. They're really just scared of you. Yeah. It's really a dictator type leadership. Right. And it's not. And generally, research says that it doesn't fare well in the end. Back to IBM, and IBM is doing well now. But all of your big companies in the 80s and part of the 90s were from a very C-suite point of view. You see what I'm saying? Sure. And nothing wrong with C-suite, but they rule from behind the glass office, and they went amongst the people. Yes. And so they use their titles just to give direction and give orders instead of working with the people. We work with the people. Matter of fact, a true leader, hope y'all can handle this, work for the people.
That's good.
You see, when you the CEO, or when you the vice president, when you the manager or team leader, whatever, you working for the people. Yeah, right. They're not working for you.
Right.
See, if they're working for you, then you using your title, using your authority in the wrong manner.
Right.
And a lot of your companies now, especially your young tech companies, they don't operate that way at all. That's why they can do what they do. And that's why people love working for them, because you don't have the boss come around and say, you got to call me a certain name. And when I walk by, you get to the wall and you say, yes, sir, and bow your head. Right. This is not the crown. Okay. Yeah. This is not England. It's not the crown, right? That's a difference. And so we need to be very careful of that we don't use our authority, even in the church. Right. The Bible says for us in Hebrews 13 chapter, verse 17, to obey our leaders, but that don't mean obey them in a sense that they are subject. No, right. we all in this together. That means that you follow them. That means it literally means to follow. To follow, yes, sir. And so we're not giving out just orders. We working together. And when people don't do that, they abuse it. They abuse the system. People end up getting hurt. Some without ever recovering again, and it's not good. And I'll say this because I'm in both. I'm in church leadership, and I'm in the world's leadership, and I've seen abusive actions or abusive behavior in both. And most times, all the times I've witnessed this, it didn't fare well. It didn't fare well for that church. It didn't fare well for that company or that division of the company that the person was acting that way. Right. And we have to be very careful not to do that. All right, let's keep rolling. Number 9, we're talking about qualities of a great leader. Great leader, not a good leader. Great leader. Yeah, great leader. A great leader is an effective communicator. An effective communicator. As you heard me say before, the problem with communication, you think you did it. You think you did it. What you think about this?
You know, I said that one thing. What was that quote? Lost in translation. You know, not giving getting a clear and concise understanding. I consider myself a great communicator. That's one of the life coaching skills that I have, is to get a clear understanding. And a lot of times we don't get that. We listen to someone, Doc Roc, with the intent to not to understand but to respond.
Say that again, because I like that. I believe that too.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this again. As a communicator, a lot of times what happens is we're not, when we listen to somebody, we're not listening to get a understanding of what they have to say, but we're listening to respond. When we do that, are we really listening to what they're saying to get a clear understanding of what they're actually that's coming out of their mouth? And I think that's a lot of times that's our problem, is we don't get a clear and concise understanding. And sometimes you need to, especially in an environment like this, repeat the person question, you know, so that you don't go off on a tangent and start answering things they like, that ain't what I was asking.
Yeah.
You know, so we need to get a clear, concise understanding of what someone is saying to communicate. And that shows, and actually it shows a little bit of empathy too, because it shows that you care about what they have to say.
That's true. That's true. And some yeah, don't get mad at me. Don't stop chatting. Don't get off the broadcast tonight. Sometimes we like talking to talk.
Yeah.
And we just talking, we're not communicating. Because if I ask you a question and I don't get a response back to you, did I even communicate it?
Right.
You know, so generally, and anybody ever been around me, if I say, Orlis, meet me for breakfast in the morning, I won't just walk away. I say, I wait for an answer.
Right.
And if you don't answer me, I say, no, you tracking, or you get me? You cool? I'm looking for a response back.
Right.
Most time, what people call communication is talking. Talking is not communication. Communication is two ways or three ways, but it's not one way.
Right, sir.
And so we have to start looking for a response back. So if you are properly communicating, then you ought to be looking for a response back to what you said, the thought, the question, the statement, whatever it may be.
Yes, sir.
Because if not, then you are taking for granted that person understood what you said. And that's dangerous, because first of all, it's hard for us to speak words in picture form. And if people don't get it in a picture form in their mind, they don't get it. They don't receive it. Right. And there's nothing easy about communication. You know, we have to work at it as you worked at it. You know, you were Toastmasters, you doing a bunch of other things. You know, you're a licensed coach, you know, just I am as well. Right. But you know, in coaching, it's about what? Listening. Yes. Right?
Yes.
You know, most people, the coaching is about talking. It's not about talking at all.
Effectively.
Yeah, effective listening. Okay, and so it's very, very important. All right, number 10. A great leader is a servant leader. A great leader is a servant leader. You know, Jesus said in Matthew 23:11, but the greatest among you shall be your servant. Servant leadership is not you being a coward, not you being soft. Here's how I look at it. I will not ask you to do anything that I'm not willing to do myself. You know, there's times that I'm in my office and I'm sweeping the office. Now, we got people who come and clean up the office. I'm sweeping the office, has nothing really to do with the floor, has something to do with me being humble. And if I see something, you know, that needs to be cleaned up, I clean it up. Why would I ask someone to do something I'm not willing to do myself? Right. And I say I'm leading them. Yeah. That's not servant leadership. If you're going to be great, your great leaders, most of your great leaders in the world, not all of them, but the majority of your great leaders in the world are servant leaders. They lead by example.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that. You have to put others first sometimes. And a lot of times, I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, I was living a great life, and you know, as far as you know, before I became a life coach. And the reason I became a life coach, because I figured it was not all about me. It wasn't about my success. It was about helping others achieve greater things in their life, Doc Roc. And I get enjoyment from that. Enjoyment out of, you know, people succeeding, not just talking. Because a lot of times people say, hey, you know, yeah, I'm glad you're doing well, but do they really mean it? Do they really are they heart in the right place when they say that? You know, I know my heart was in the right place because I was in a place that, you know what, I could have just said, just say forget everybody else and just live a good life, but it wasn't in my heart. It wasn't in my heart to do so. So I had to. It was eating at me so bad that I was hungry for it, Doc Rock, that I had to help somebody. I get so much enjoyment of doing that, and it's helped me out tremendously. Wow. I have joy for that.
I tell people, if you want to have joy in your life, serve. Serve. Go out there and serve. No matter what your title is, you're a leader. Leaders serve. Yes, go out there and serve. Go help somebody. Zig Ziglar used to say, if you help enough people to get where they need to be, you will be helped based on yourself.
Yes, sir.
You got to go out there and help people. What are you doing for other people? Are you serving other people? Are you helping other people? Because if it's all about you, you become what I call a Dead Sea. I've been promising to teach this for years. I'm going to teach it this year. Don't become a Dead Sea. And what I mean by that, I've been in Israel many times, and the Dead Sea, people think is like dead, it stinks. No, it's dead, and salt is everywhere because the lower Jordan River flows into the Jordan River, but it does not have no outlet. And see, if you are not a servant leader, then there's no outlet. Everything is coming into you, but you're not releasing anything. If your hate to be graphic, but if your body do that, you'll die. Okay, you have to give out. Yeah. And a servant leader is one that lead the way, show the way, and just don't talk the way.
That's it.
That's what a servant leader is.
That's good.
All right, number 11, and we got about 10 more minutes, so I'm going to go these other two pretty quick, so we have a little time for some Q&A. Talking about qualities of a great leader. Number 11, a great leader is courageous. Ooh, they don't feel failure.
Can't do it.
Joshua, be courageous.
Yes.
Moses is dead. All this. He said, Joshua, be courageous. Go do something that your leader didn't do. Great leaders are courageous. What you think?
Yes, you definitely have to be courageous. That's part of growing to another level, I think. If you just want to just be the status quo and just live your life and do whatever. My thing is, this is what that I really hate is, I don't want to leave this earth dying with regret. I don't want to leave it dying with regret, and that's going to take some courage for me to do some things that I'm afraid to do. As far as the speaking thing, I mean, I was afraid to even get up and speak in front of people. Because it happened to me when I was in high school in the 10th grade. I still hold that. I was in an advanced course in the 10th grade, but the teacher told I was stumbling over words, and I didn't read very well at the time, even though I was very smart. And the kids laughed at me. And from that day forth, it drove me to be courageous and have a passion about speaking. That's what I do now, Doc Rock. So those things drive you, and it gave me courage to go out there and do some things. And every now and then people pat you on the back and say, man, you're doing it. That's getting out there and being courageous and doing what I do.
It is. In my story, almost similar to yours. I was not a good speaker. I speak around the world now. You're right. You speak many, many places. And I tell people this, and people don't believe it who didn't know me. I was a very timid, quiet guy that would not get in front of two people and talk, let alone speak to thousands. And I tell people, they're like, no way. Yes, way. Okay, I was. Okay, but I developed a spirit of courage. Courage don't mean the absence of fear.
Right.
It means go in and do it. Go do it anyway. People wait. I got a sign in my office says, don't wait till the rain is over. Learn how to dance in the rain. Yes. Don't wait till the storm is over, excuse me. Learn how to dance in the rain. Take some courage and dance in the rain. Go ahead and do it. Don't worry about failing. Just, do what you know you can do. It's inside of you. We haven't even tapped into the giftings and the power that God has placed in our life. We really haven't.
Right.
We just need to have some courage to go out there and do it. And if you fall, get up, dust your knees off, get back in the game. You're cast down, but you're not destroyed.
Yes.
We're not destroyed. We got to have that courage to keep going. If God be for us, who can be against us?
Yes.
And we those are not just quotes, that's living word that get us to where we need to be at.
Yes, sir.
So it's very, very important. Number 12, and we'll have 5 minutes for Q&A right quick. A great leader works on their gifts and skills continually. Oh, that's what we're doing tonight. That's what you all doing right now. 2 Timothy 1:6 says, "For this reason I remind you to kindle afresh the gift of God which is in you by the laying on of hands." Okay, what you want to say about
Man,
working on our gifts and skills and talents?
I tell you what, I think we have to create habits of success, not just doing it every once in a while, but doing it all the time. And it's like driving a car. When you first learn how to drive a car, you get in that thing and you're checking the mirrors, you're making sure you at 6 and 9, you're good to go. You're good to go. You're looking over your shoulder. Now, when you get in the car, you just jump in that thing and go. Right?
Right.
You don't even think about it. So we have to create habits of success, and we're working on our skills so much it becomes part of us. Yeah. It becomes part of our DNA. Like who we are. That's
wow. Habits of success.
Yes.
So when you working on when you working on your skills, that means you're not just taking the talent. Think about it. We all know a bunch of talented people, but if I'm talented and you talented and I work and I'm working on my skill, I beat you every day. I beat you every day. Yeah. And so what people need to understand, God has given all of us gifts, but we have to refine those gifts. Yes, we have to work on them. And that's a continual thing. By you all taking out your time tonight, an hour of your time, you are listening to myself and this great man, Orlis Moss, okay? And why? Because you are refining your skills. You are learning things about leadership, about success, about value, about goal setting. We're going to talk about all these type things when lead and achieve. Okay? These things are here to help you. Now, a lot of people say it's a waste of time. They rather watch a movie. Wow. Now, I'm not against the person who want to watch the movie. But what I am saying is that movie isn't helping you.
Right.
We all need an outlet. We all need some time. I may go home and I watch a lot of documentaries and stuff like that. Yeah. But and I like watching animals too. Lions and stuff. Anyway, but I take me an hour, maybe 2 hours. But at the same time, I said, okay, what I need to work on?
Right.
What are my weaknesses? And what are my strengths that I need to keep pushing? Wow. Oh, this is good. Yeah, we have one question here. This is, and you are, so I won't read your name. You may not want that. How should I handle a leader that micromanage and is a dictator? She's intimidating. How should I handle a leader that is that micromanage and is a dictator? Wow. Well, I'll say this first of all. Sometimes we have to do what we call lead up. Google lead up. Sometimes you have to lead your leader. And what I mean by that is that you have to bring suggestions. And when they come at you and micromanage, you have to say like, you gave me responsibility to do this. I thank you for that responsibility. And I'm going to do the best. You got to kind of remind them in sort of ways that you don't need them in your Kool-Aid, if I can say it that way, right? And it's tough. And unfortunately, leaders like that sometimes don't even know, and if they're not doing any type personal development, she probably not going to change.
Right.
I mean, I hate to say that. And sometimes you have to say, do I need to find another leader? But try to lead up and keep your cool. Keep when I say cool, your emotional intelligence, keep that in check. But and sometimes let me say this: you just have to let them do their thing. Let her do her thing. Let her and you say, okay, I got it. Okay, thank you. Yes, ma'am. Whatever. And the whole time it's like Charlie Brown. Run. You didn't hear the word she said, right? Because you know the task, you know the job, and you can't let that irritate you or get you off base.
Wow, good.
Any other questions? Okay, it's another one. What values are most important to you as a leader? Woo! What values are most important to you as a leader? You want to answer that?
Yeah, I can answer that one. To me, that was an easy one. The value is integrity. Having integrity, as a leader, if you have integrity, I believe it goes a long way. So integrity and empathy kind of, to me, it works hand in hand, because if they can trust you, you can have great integrity, and then you can have empathy for that person. Oh my goodness, that's a great combination. Because I think, because if they know that you care, and they know that they can trust you, even as a leader, if you make a mistake, they're like, okay, that's no problem. We'll get it next time, boss. We'll get it next time. See, listen to that. Not I, but we'll get it together. You see, so that you melt. It's like melting together. You become a part of a team and start using phrases like that. You probably want to.
No, it's good. No. I mean, it's hard to go above integrity. I don't know if there's anything above integrity.
Right.
But only thing I would say that's right along with integrity is love for the purpose. Having love for what you're doing.
Right.
That's a value. Do you have love? Do you which empathy is part of that? See what I'm saying? So they all connect.
Yes.
Because if you don't have those values, then you're gonna compromise, you're gonna cheat, you're gonna undermine, you're gonna scheme, you're gonna do a whole bunch of stuff.
Yes, sir.
That catch up with you personally, and then if you do that as a company or as any organization, it'll catch up with the organization, and we see it happening all the time.
Right.
And so this is good. Okay. John Maxwell. Okay. We talked about John Maxwell. Somebody said, thank you for suggesting John Maxwell, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. That is a great book. A great book. And so I would suggest you get that. Here's a book that I'm telling you will challenge you in what you do in life. Patrick Leciano. And next week I have some books here. I forgot to bring them again. I have a book called Get Naked. I ain't mean taking your clothes off. It's a book about vulnerability. Patrick Leciano called Get Naked. Getting Naked. It's really good, and it tells you how your vulnerability actually can help you.
Right.
Most people try to hide so many things, but being vulnerable, how it can help you in business. All right, one more question right here. They coming in now. What do you think about the leader in times of crisis? What do you think about the leader in times of crisis? Leaders are forged in times of crisis. What do you think? Time crisis. Okay, so as a leader, what happens in times of crisis? Ooh. I will say this: you are who you are under pressure.
Yeah, exactly.
And I say this right here: when you're in crisis, when you're in a crisis, your core comes out, your true values come out, who you really are come out. And sometimes that crisis is there not necessarily for you to master it, but it's for you to learn yourself and learn how to handle things when they come up. You see what I'm saying?
That's good.
That's good. That is good, man. Okay, one more question. And when you are making a decision and it doesn't work it doesn't work. All right, let me say it again. When you are making a decision and it doesn't work, how do you handle still being courageous? Woo! You make a decision, don't work the way you thought it would. How do you handle still being courageous?
Ooh, man, that's a tough one. I mean, because if you the thing about that is, we actually covered that a little bit. The decision you make, you got to live with, even if it's a mistake, you got to live with it. No matter what, we're not perfect. We're all going to make mistakes, but we're all learning together. As long as your heart is in the right place and you think you know in your heart that I think I'm doing the right thing, it's going to be okay. It's going to work out for itself. So if you make that mistake, say, okay, learn from that and say, okay, what can I learn from what I just did? And then once you learn from what you did, the next time you make that decision or another decision, trust me, it's going to be better.
Wow, this is good. Hey, we are out of time, but we're not out of information. Join us every second and fourth Thursday for Lead and Achieve with Doc Rock. Hey, we're going to have other guests on. We're going to be going forward. And I'm telling you, you're going to be better from everything that we teach. You're going to grow like you've never grown before. All right, remember, no bad days, bad hour, bad minute, but never a bad day. You got too much to do, too many things to handle. You got too many great places and great things to do. No bad days. So shout no bad days. Type it in, chat in. So here's the deal. It's Super Sunday. It's Marvelous Monday. It's Terrific Tuesday. It's Wonderful Wednesday. It's Triumphant Thursday. It's Fantastic Friday. And it's Successful Saturday. Hey, I'm Doc Rock. Hey, this is Orlis. You join us at the top. See you later. I'm Doc Rock. Join me at the top.